When people imagine collapse, they picture bunkers, gold bars, and expensive gear. But real-life disruptions usually make the boring stuff matter most. Clean water, basic hygiene, simple repairs, light at night, and the ability to keep daily life from falling apart. That's why this list isn't about flashy survival gadgets. It's about everyday items you can grab cheaply. Things that seem useless right now, because modern life makes them invisible. If the power is out, stores are empty, deliveries stop, or services become unreliable for weeks, value changes fast. Convenience turns into necessity, and trash turns into currency. These are 33 small, overlooked items that become priceless when comfort disappears, and why beginner preppers should care about them long before they're needed. Number 1. Water tablets. Water purification tablets are the kind of thing you walk past because they're not fun. No one brags about them. But when the water system is down, or you're relying on stored water, rainwater, or a nearby stream, safe drinking water becomes the whole game. Tablets are a lightweight backup that can travel in a pocket, a car kit, or a small bag. The big beginner mistake is thinking tablets fix everything. They work best when the water is already fairly clear, and they must be used exactly as the product instructions say. The reason these become priceless is simple. Clean water keeps you thinking clearly enough to make good decisions. Once you've got a way to make water safer, the next step is dealing with the dirt and debris that comes with real-world water. Number 2. Coffee filters. Coffee filters feel like disposable kitchen fluff, but they're sneaky useful when things get messy. They're not a replacement for proper treatment, but they're perfect for pre-filtering water to remove sediment, bugs, and bits of plant matter before you treat or boil it. Cleaner water is easier to handle, easier to store, and honestly less gross to drink. Filters also work as quick napkins, makeshift wrappers for herbs or spices, a cover for a cup to keep dust out, and a gentle wipe for glasses or screens. If you store a stack in a sealed bag, they stay clean and dry for years. For beginner prepping, this is a cheap way to make your water setup smoother. And once you're filtering and treating water, you immediately run into the next problem. What are you putting that water in? Number 3. Empty plastic bottles. Right now, empty soda and water bottles are basically trash. After a collapse, a clean sealable container is not trash at all. A plastic bottle is light, tough, and easy to carry. It can store drinking water, help you portion rice or beans, protect matches from moisture, hold screws and nails, or keep important papers from getting damp if you bag them first. The beginner move is to pick bottles with solid caps, rinse them well, let them dry completely, and store them out of direct sunlight so the plastic lasts longer. You don't need a fancy setup to be prepared, you need options. Bottles are options. And once you start saving containers, you realize you need something bigger, sturdier, and more do-it-all than a bottle. Number 4. Bucket and lid. A basic 5-gallon bucket with a tight lid is the kind of thing people buy for paint, then forget forever. In a long outage or supply disruption, it becomes a multi-tool you can sit on. It carries water, stores supplies, keeps pests out, and helps you stay organized when you're stressed. If it's food grade, it can also store dry foods, like rice and beans in sealed bags. And yes, when plumbing isn't working, a bucket can help with bathroom needs in a cleaner, more controlled way. That's not glamorous, but it's real life. Beginner tip: label the bucket clearly, and if you're using it for storage, keep it off concrete and away from damp corners. Buckets are the infrastructure people don't think about. And once you've got a bucket, you'll want the lining and waterproofing that makes it even more useful. Number 5. Heavy trash bags. Trash bags are the definition of boring, which is exactly why most people don't stock enough of them. Heavy-duty bags turn into waterproofing, sanitation, and storage all at once. They can line a bucket, wrap up waste, keep smells contained, protect clothing and blankets from rain, and cover items you don't want getting dusty. They also make fast ground covers, and with careful use, they can become a simple poncho-style rain shield. Contractor-grade bags are the best because they tear less and hold more. Beginner tip: keep one roll in your main supplies and another roll somewhere totally separate, like a closet or car kit. because you'll be surprised how fast you go through them when normal trash pickup isn't happening. And once you start packing and protecting things, you'll want smaller, cleaner organization too. Number 6. Zip-top freezer bags. A sturdy freezer bag is like a tiny, reusable storage box that weighs nothing. People treat them as disposable, but when supplies are limited, they become a way to keep things dry, clean, and sorted. Use them for portioning food, protecting documents, keeping matches or first aid items waterproof, separating clean and dirty gear, or isolating anything that smells. They're also great for making quick grab pouches like a mini hygiene kit or a small repair kit. Beginner tip: write contents and dates with a marker so you're not playing the "what is this mystery bag" game later. The value after collapse is that bags prevent wasted food, wasted time, wasted supplies. And if you're the type who likes keeping things clean, there's another simple kitchen item that punches way above its weight. Number 7. Aluminum foil. Foil is one of those drawer items you forget exists until you need it. After a collapse, it becomes a quiet workhorse. You can wrap food to keep it clean, cook over coals in a simple way, cover a dish, line a surface for easier cleanup, or create a heat reflector near a safe heat source to push warmth back toward you. It's also useful for protecting items from moisture when you need a quick barrier, and it can act as a signal reflector if you're trying to get attention. Beginner tip: keep an extra roll in your emergency bin and don't crush it. A clean, intact roll stays way more useful than a mangled one. And once you start cooking and repairing and improvising, you'll want the item that fixes problems faster than almost anything else. Number 8. Duct tape. Duct tape is basically portable problem solving. In normal times, it's nice to have. In a collapse, it's the thing that keeps your stuff from falling apart. It patches ripped jackets, seals a cracked container, reinforces a broken strap, holds together a temporary shelter, and blocks drafts around a window when you're trying to keep a room warm. It's also amazing for labeling when you pair it with a marker. Tape a strip, write on it, done. Beginner tip: wrap a few feet around a pencil or a lighter so you've got a compact roll for a small kit. Duct tape becomes priceless because replacement parts turn into maybe someday, and repairs turn into right now. And speaking of labeling, there's one cheap item that prevents a shocking number of disasters. Number 9. Permanent marker. A permanent marker feels like office supply junk until you're living in a world where mistakes cost you. Label water containers with dates. Label buckets so nobody mixes clean and not clean. Mark how many batteries are in a bin. Write instructions on a bag so anyone in the household can use the item correctly. Leave notes for family. Mark a paper map. Track who borrowed what. In a stressful situation, clear labeling prevents arguments and prevents accidents. Beginner tip: store markers in a sealed bag so they don't dry out, and keep at least one in a place you can grab without thinking. A marker becomes priceless because it turns chaos into something you can manage. And once you start labeling, you realize you need a place to record things that a phone can't always handle. Number 10. Notebook and pencil. Phones are incredible until they're dead, broken, or there's no network. A cheap notebook and a couple pencils become your memory and your plan. You can track inventory, write down water usage, plan meals so you don't burn through food too fast, keep important phone numbers, record medical info like allergies, copy instructions from a label, and log repairs so you remember what worked. Pencils matter because they keep writing even when it's cold, damp, or you're wearing gloves. Beginner tip: keep one notebook as the main log and a smaller one as a pocket notepad. In an emergency, information is comfort. And after you've got water, storage, and organization, food is next, not just having it, but making it work for you. Number 11. Bulk salt. Salt is cheap and easy to ignore, which is why it turns into a big deal when supply chains wobble. Your body needs salt in the right amount, and when you're sweating, hauling water, and eating simple pantry foods, having a reliable source matters. Salt also preserves food, helps with pickling, improves flavor so you actually want to eat your stored meals, and works as a simple abrasive for cleaning cookware. Beginner tip: Keep regular iodized salt for everyday use and plain salt for preserving and cooking projects. After collapse, salt becomes priceless because it solves multiple problems: nutrition, food storage, and morale. And if you're trying to stretch your supplies, you'll want a simple product that cleans, deodorizes, and backs up your cooking routine. Number 12. Baking soda. Baking soda is one of those old school items that quietly does a bunch of jobs without drama. It deodorizes shoes and buckets, helps scrub cookware, and supports basic baking when you're stretching pantry staples. It's also handy for gentle cleaning when you don't want harsh chemicals, and it can help calm down some stubborn smells in a room or a cooler. Beginner tip: keep it in the original box inside a sealed bag so it stays dry, and store a second box with cleaning supplies. Baking soda becomes priceless after collapse because it replaces a bunch of specialty products you won't be able to restock. And if you're cleaning without fancy supplies, there's another cheap liquid that suddenly becomes a daily workhorse. Number 13. White vinegar. White vinegar is the budget cleaner people buy once, then forget behind the sink. After a collapse, it becomes a regular part of staying clean and keeping gear functional. It helps cut through grime, removes mineral buildup, freshens certain fabrics, and supports simple food projects like quick pickling when you're trying to extend what you have. Beginner tip: keep it in a clearly labeled bottle and use ventilation when cleaning. Also, don't mix cleaning products. Simple is safer. Vinegar becomes priceless because it stores well, works in multiple roles, and doesn't rely on electricity or complicated tools. And once you're thinking about food storage and stretching meals, you start to see that treat foods are actually practical items too. Number 14. Sugar and honey. Sugar feels like a treat, and honey feels like something you only buy when you're feeling fancy. In a rough scenario, both become practical. They add fast calories, help preserve certain foods, and turn bland staples into something you'll actually eat. That matters because appetite drops when stress is high, and skipped meals make everything harder. Honey can keep for a long time when sealed and stored well, and sugar lasts when kept dry and pest-free. Beginner tip: store sugar in airtight containers, and don't panic if honey crystallizes. Warm it gently later, and it's fine. After collapse, these become valuable for barter too, because everyone understands what they're for. And to make basic food feel like real food, you'll want something even cheaper and smaller: flavor. Number 15. Bouillon and spices. This is the secret weapon of beginner prepping. People stock rice, beans, pasta, and canned foods, then realize they're tired of eating the same plain flavors. Bouillon cubes, seasoning blends, dried herbs, pepper, and even a few sauce packets can change everything. A little flavor makes a simple meal feel normal, and normal is a powerful thing when everything else feels unstable. Spices also help you stretch food, because better flavor makes smaller portions feel more satisfying. Beginner tip: store spices sealed, away from heat, and rotate them into everyday cooking so nothing goes stale. After collapse, spices become priceless because they turn survival eating into actual meals. And once you're eating more from home, hygiene suddenly becomes a serious topic. Not luxury, just prevention. Number 16. Bar soap. Bar soap is old school and kind of uncool, which is exactly why it's a winner. It stores well, doesn't leak, doesn't require fancy packaging, and it works for hands, body, dishes, and even basic laundry. Hygiene isn't about being extra. It's about avoiding illness when help is limited, and everyone's sharing tighter spaces. Beginner tip: choose simple, unscented bars if possible, keep them wrapped until needed, and store one bar with each kit so you're never without it. Soap becomes priceless because clean hands prevent so many problems. And when water is limited, you'll want the next best thing to keep yourself from feeling grimy. Number 17. Baby wipes. Wipes are a convenience item in normal life. In an emergency, they're a portable shower. They help you clean hands before food, wipe down surfaces, reduce skin irritation, and generally keep everything from getting grimy. They're also huge for caregiving. Kids, older family members, anyone who's sick, anyone stuck in bed. Beginner tip: pick unscented wipes to avoid irritation and to make them useful for more people. Store packs in a cool spot so they don't dry out. Wipes become priceless because they help you stay clean when water is precious. And when you're cleaning up messes or helping someone, there's a simple barrier item that protects you in a way people don't think about until they need it. Number 18. Nitrile gloves. Gloves don't look like survival gear, but they save you from a lot of avoidable problems. They protect your hands during cleanup, trash handling, minor first aid tasks, and any situation where you really don't want to touch something directly. They also help prevent cross-contamination when someone in the home is sick. Beginner tip: store multiple sizes if your household needs them, and keep a few pairs in every kit home, car, and a small bag. If you only have one box, you'll burn through it faster than you expect. After collapse, the ability to do gross jobs safely becomes priceless. And speaking of things people overlook, there's one hygiene category that becomes instantly important and incredibly tradable. Number 19. Feminine hygiene. This is one of the most overlooked prepping categories, and it becomes immediately important. Pads and liners support comfort, dignity, and health, especially when access to laundry, clean water, and supplies is limited. They store well, take up relatively little space, and are widely useful in households and communities. Beginner tip: store a variety and keep them dry in a sealed bin. If your household doesn't personally need them, they're still valuable for helping friends or neighbors, and they're high-demand barter items without being bulky. After collapse, the every month needs don't stop just because life got harder. And once hygiene is on your mind, dental care is the next thing people regret ignoring. Number 20. Toothbrush and paste. Dental pain has a way of taking over your whole day. After a collapse, getting quick dental help may be difficult, so prevention matters. A toothbrush is small, cheap, and easy to store, and it does more to prevent misery than most people realize. Toothpaste is helpful, but the brush is the main tool. Beginner tip: stock extra toothbrushes because they're easy to rotate and share, and keep a travel toothbrush in a go bag or car kit. If you want a low-maintenance option, toothpaste tablets or small travel tubes are easy to stash. After collapse, a toothbrush becomes priceless because you can't just tough it out forever. And right next to brushing is the little roll most people ignore until they realize it's useful for more than teeth. Number 21. Dental floss. Floss is one of those things people mean to use more, then forget. In a disruption, it becomes valuable in two ways. It helps protect teeth, and it's surprisingly strong cord for light repairs. You can tie small items, secure a loose button temporarily, hang lightweight gear, or make quick fixes where thicker rope is too bulky. Beginner tip: choose waxed floss for durability, and keep multiple rolls because it's tiny and easy to stash. Floss becomes priceless because it's one of those little threads that can save you from bigger problems. And when things start breaking around you, you'll want a fast way to stop small damage from turning into total failure. Number 22. Superglue. Superglue feels like a random junk drawer item until gear starts breaking more often than usual. It can fix cracked plastic, repair small parts, help patch certain shoe problems, and stop little failures from becoming big ones. Beginner tip: store it cool and buy a few small tubes rather than one giant bottle, because small tubes stay fresh longer and you can spread them across kits. It's worth being clear: use glue for gear repairs, not for medical DIY projects. Superglue becomes priceless because after collapse, you can't rely on replacement, only repair. And once you start repairing, you'll notice that some problems need hold-it-right-now fasteners that don't require tools. Number 23. Zip ties. Zip ties look like basic hardware, but they're basically instant fasteners. They bundle loose items, secure gear to a pack, repair broken handles, hold poles together, and lock down something temporarily while you work on a better fix. They're also great for organizing cords and keeping your storage bins from turning into a tangle. Beginner tip: get a mix of sizes and keep a handful in a pocket kit because they weigh almost nothing and solve problems in seconds. Zip ties become priceless because speed matters when you're tired and stressed. And once you've got quick fasteners, the next upgrade is having real cordage for shelter, hauling, and everyday tasks. Number 24. Paracord. Paracord is just rope until you need rope. Then it becomes your shelter tie-down, clothesline, gear strap, handle replacement, and general purpose helper. It's strong, flexible, and easy to cut to size, and the inner strands can be used for lighter tasks when you need finer cord. Beginner tip: pre-cut a few lengths and wrap them neatly so you're not fighting knots in the dark. Cordage becomes priceless because it turns loose materials into usable structures. A tarp isn't a shelter until you can tie it down. A stack of supplies isn't portable until you can secure it. And once you're tying and hauling and wearing gear every day, fabric and straps will eventually fail. So you need the repair skill that keeps you from freezing or ruining your only backpack. Number 25. Sewing kit. Clothes rip, backpacks tear, and buttons pop off, especially when you're using items every day and you can't baby them. A small sewing kit keeps you warm, keeps your gear functional, and saves you from the slow leak of constant damage. Beginner tip: include heavy-duty thread, a few needles, spare buttons, and something to protect your fingers, because sewing thick fabric can be rough. Toss in a few patches, or scrap fabric too. Sewing becomes priceless because it keeps you from losing insulation and protection. A small tear in a jacket turns into a big heat leak fast when the weather is bad. And if you want an even quicker, no skill required fabric fix for the moments you don't have time to sew, you need the tiny piece of metal people forget exists. Number 26. Safety pins. Safety pins are tiny, cheap, and almost always ignored. After a collapse, they become everyday problem solvers. They hold torn fabric together, replace a missing button temporarily, secure a wrap, attach gear to a strap, and fix something well enough to get you through the day. Beginner tip: buy a variety pack and store them in a small container so they don't poke holes in everything. Safety pins become priceless because they buy you time. When you can't stop everything to do a perfect repair, a quick fix keeps life moving. And once the sun goes down and power is unreliable, the next problem is simple: seeing what you're doing without draining your resources. Number 27. Candles. Candles are cozy in normal life, and after a collapse, they're practical light you don't need to charge. Tea lights can give steady illumination in a small room, help you see what you're doing, and take the edge off a dark, stressful night. They also act as a morale item, because warm light makes a space feel safer. Beginner tip: store candles in a sturdy box so they don't get crushed. Keep them with your fire starting tools, and always use common sense fire safety stable surface. Nothing flammable nearby, and don't leave them unattended. Candles become priceless because they provide calm, predictable light when everything else feels uncertain. And to keep cooking gear usable day after day, there's a simple cleaning item that suddenly matters a lot. Number 28. Steel wool. Steel wool looks like an old-school scrubbing pad, but it earns its keep fast. It cleans pots when you don't want to waste soap, helps remove rust, and keeps metal tools from turning into useless lumps. It's one of those humble items that extends the life of other items, which is a huge advantage when replacements are scarce. Beginner tip: store steel wool dry so it doesn't rust in the package, and keep it away from anything that could cause sparks. Steel wool becomes priceless because clean cookware matters more than people think. When you're cooking every day at home, burnt-on gunk and rust aren't just annoying, they waste fuel and time. And speaking of time, doing anything in the dark takes twice as long unless you have the right kind of light. Number 29. Headlamp. A headlamp feels like camping gear until you've tried cooking, repairing, or hauling water in the dark. Hands-free light changes everything. You can keep both hands on the job, avoid tripping, and move safely through hallways or outside paths without doing that awkward flashlight in your mouth trick. Beginner tip: choose a headlamp that uses common batteries like AA so it matches other household gear, and keep it with spare batteries in the same container. Headlamps become priceless because most accidents happen when people can't see properly. A twisted ankle or a bad fall is a bigger deal when help is limited. And once you start relying on battery-powered tools, the batteries themselves turn into a kind of everyday gold. Number 30. AA and AAA batteries. Batteries are invisible value. You don't notice them until the devices that need them turn into bricks. In a longer emergency, batteries power headlamps, radios, flashlights, small fans, and a bunch of basic tools people rely on. Beginner tip: Store batteries cool and dry. Avoid letting loose batteries roll around in a drawer, and rotate your stock by using older ones first. Keep a small stash of the same types your gear actually uses instead of buying random sizes. Batteries become priceless because they're compact, universally useful, and easy to trade without long explanations. Sometimes you don't need the fanciest technology. You need the simplest kind of energy there is. And to turn that stored energy into action cooking, warmth, light, you need controlled fire. Number 31, disposable lighters. A lighter is small enough to forget, which is why it becomes big enough to trade for. Fire can mean cooking, warming up, boiling water, sterilizing a tool, lighting a candle, or even just starting a small stove. Disposable lighters are cheap, easy to stash, and easy to spread across multiple locations so you're not stuck with one point of failure. Beginner tip: keep a few at home, one in the car kit, and one in a small bag, and store them away from heat. Fire is a tool, so treat it with respect. Lighters become priceless because they make a difficult task fast and repeatable. And when a lighter fails or gets lost, you'll be glad you also have the backup that still works without moving parts. Number 32, waterproof matches. Matches look old-fashioned, but they're reliable in a way that makes them comforting when everything else is unpredictable. Waterproof or storm-style matches can work in damp conditions when a lighter might struggle. Beginner tip: keep matches in a waterproof container and store them in more than one place. Redundancy is the whole strategy here, because the day you truly need fire is never the day everything behaves nicely. Matches become priceless because they're simple, recognizable, and they work without needing batteries, charging, or complicated knowledge. Once you've handled water, food, hygiene, repairs, and light, there's one category that helps people stay steady and human: morale. Number 33, playing cards. A deck of cards sounds useless compared to food and water, but after a collapse, mental endurance matters. Boredom and stress make people reckless, and groups that can stay calm make better choices. Cards give you entertainment that works without power, teaches kids and adults simple games, helps pass long nights, and creates a bit of normal routine when routines are falling apart. They can also be a surprisingly good barter item because they're lightweight and universally understood. Beginner tip: pack a deck in a sealed bag so it stays dry and clean, and add a small pencil and scrap paper for scorekeeping. When people can laugh or focus on something simple for a while, the whole household runs better.